June 28th, 2025 is a pivotal day for the Pi network community, the day of great expectation. Millions of pioneers are eagerly awaiting the Pi core team to address the global consensus value, GCV, and acknowledge it as the true value of Picoin. Supporters of GCV advocate for a value of $314,159 per Pi, symbolizing belief, unity, and trust in the project. Before you scroll past this video, I need to tell you about something absolutely massive happening with Pi Network on June 28th that could completely change the game for every Pi holder. If you've been watching Picoin struggle recently, dropping from its all-time high of $2.98 down to just 55 cents, then this video might contain the most crucial information you'll hear all month. So Pioneer, tell me what you think will happen on 2Pi Day, whether you believe the Binance listing rumors have merit, and how you're positioning yourself for whatever comes next. Share your Pi network story and let fellow pioneers know you're still believing in this project's potential. What I'm about to reveal could be the catalyst that either saves Pi network or marks a critical turning point in its journey. Let's first greet and welcome my incredible Pi pioneers from every corner of the globe. Whether you're turning from the different location like United States, India, Nigeria, Philippines, Indonesia, Kenya, or anywhere else on this beautiful planet, you can join our community by subscribing and ring notification bell so you never miss an update. Also comment Pi Network to the moon along with your country for seeing our worldwide community come together, and your engagement helps this message reach even more Pi believers. Here we go. Let me paint you the complete picture of where Pi Network stands right now, because understanding this context makes the June 28th situation even more explosive. As of June 18th, Picoin is trading at $0.5546. And yes, that represents a daily decline of about 2.52%. The market capitalization sits at $4.13 billion with a 24-hour trading volume of $95.1 million. Now, these numbers might seem disappointing when you consider that just over the past week, Pi retreated from a high of $0.6414 to lows near $0.5198, marking a decline of around 14%. But here's where it gets really intense. Zooming out to the monthly time frame reveals an even sharper drop of nearly 24%. That all-time high of $2.98 recorded on February 26, 2025, now feels like a distant memory for many holders. But here's what most people don't realize, and this is absolutely crucial for understanding why June 28th matters so much. Picoin is currently ranked 29th on CoinMarketCap, and it's hanging on by a thread. The market cap just barely edges out Aave at $4.03 billion, which means Pi is literally just $95 million away from falling out of the top 30 cryptocurrencies. Think about that for a moment. A relatively modest drop could push Pi out of this prestigious ranking, and that would be a psychological blow that could create a domino effect of selling pressure. Being in the top 30 isn't just about bragging rights, it's about visibility, credibility, and attracting attention from exchanges, institutional players, and developers who make decisions based on these rankings. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room that's been weighing on Pi Network recently. One of the most significant issues shaking investor confidence is the security alert issued by PiChain Global confirming a password leak. This wasn't just a minor glitch, this was a serious breach that led to genuine concerns about the safety of user accounts across the entire Pi Network ecosystem. The response was immediate and comprehensive. Users were urgently advised to link verified emails, download the PCM wallet, complete their Know Your Customer procedures, and submit their details to designated support addresses. While these emergency measures were designed to safeguard user funds and accounts, the damage to confidence was already spreading through the community like wildfire. In the cryptocurrency world, trust is absolutely everything, and incidents like these can have an outsized effect on market sentiment that lasts for weeks or even months. This brings us to why June 28th isn't just another date on the calendar for Pi Network supporters. Known as 2Pi Day or Tau Day in recognition of the mathematical constant 2Pi, which equals approximately 6.28, this date carries profound symbolic weight in the project's culture and identity. It's not just clever marketing, it represents the mathematical foundation that Pi Network was built upon, and the community has embraced this symbolism as a cornerstone of their identity. This year, speculation is reaching fever pitch that June 28th could bring the kind of significant news or developments that could completely reverse Pi's recent fortunes. The rumors that are absolutely electrifying community forums and social media channels center around one possibility that could change everything: a potential Binance listing for Pi Coin. Now, I need to be crystal clear here that no official confirmation has come from either Pi Network or Binance, but the speculation is based on more than just wishful thinking. Advocates argue that June 28th would provide the perfect symbolic timing for such a high-profile announcement, combining the mathematical significance of 2Pi Day with the kind of major exchange listing that could provide an immediate liquidity boost and attract waves of new investors. A Binance listing wouldn't just be another exchange addition, it would represent validation from one of the world's most respected cryptocurrency platforms, and could restore much of the confidence that has been eroded over recent weeks. From a technical perspective, the current consolidation pattern we're seeing in Pi Coin presents both opportunities and risks that make June 28th even more critical. The price is currently holding within a narrow range that reflects both underlying weakness and market indecision. If Pi can maintain support at the crucial 54-cent level and break through the resistance barrier at 56 cents, we could see rapid movement toward 58 cents, or even challenge the 60-cent mark. Technical indicators like the Relative Strength Index and Moving Average Convergence Divergence are showing tentative signs of recovery. But these signals need confirmation through stronger volume and sustained buying interest. However, the bearish scenario is equally important to consider. If the price slips below the critical 0.52 support level, the next support levels could be at 0.50 or potentially even lower, which would likely trigger stop-loss orders and create a cascade of selling pressure. Beyond the speculation about exchange listings, June 28th could also mark significant developments in Pi Network's expanding ecosystem. Historically, the Pi team has strategically used meaningful dates to introduce major features like blockchain domains, decentralized applications such as Fruity Pi, or substantial improvements to the Pi browser. Any announcements that expand Pi's utility or enhance the underlying technology could provide the fundamental basis for sustained price recovery that goes beyond temporary speculation-driven pumps. The community is particularly watching for updates that could demonstrate real-world adoption and practical use cases that justify Pi's ambitious market capitalization. What many traditional analysts miss when evaluating Pi Network is the unprecedented strength of its community-driven foundation. Unlike most cryptocurrencies that rely primarily on speculative trading, Pi has built a network of millions of engaged users worldwide who are emotionally and financially invested in the project's success. This community aspect becomes particularly powerful during symbolic moments like 2Pi Day, where collective enthusiasm and coordinated action can create momentum that extends far beyond typical market dynamics. The question isn't whether the community will rally around June 28th, it's whether that rally will coincide with substantive developments that can sustain long-term growth. The timing of June 28th also comes at a fascinating moment in the broader cryptocurrency market cycle. While Pi has been struggling with its specific challenges, the overall crypto landscape is experiencing its own volatility and uncertainty. This creates both risks and opportunities. Negative market sentiment could dampen any positive Pi developments, but alternatively, strong Pi-specific news could help the token outperform during a period when investors are looking for projects with solid fundamentals and engaged communities. The contrast between Pi's current struggles and its massive community base creates a dynamic tension that could resolve dramatically on June 28th. What makes this June 28th situation even more intriguing is the strategic timing from multiple perspectives. The Pi development team has consistently demonstrated their understanding of symbolic moments and community psychology. They've previously aligned major announcements with meaningful dates, creating a pattern that suggests June 28th could indeed be planned as a pivotal moment. The mathematical elegance of 2 Pi Day provides the perfect backdrop for announcements that could reshape public perception of the project. This isn't just about picking a random date for marketing purposes. It's about leveraging the deep connection between Pi Network's mathematical foundation and its community identity. Let's examine what a successful June 28th could look like for Pi Network and its holders. If the rumored Binance listing materializes, we could see immediate trading volume increases that dwarf the current 95.1 million daily volume. Now, let's examine what makes this decentralized application fundamentally different from traditional banking systems that have dominated our financial lives. Traditional banks have struggled with systematic inefficiencies that have plagued consumers for generations. We've all experienced transaction delays that stretch for days, especially for international transfers. We've paid high fees that eat into our savings and investments. We've dealt with opaque operations where we never really understand how our money is being used or what fees we're actually paying. The banking network's dApp promises to eliminate these pain points entirely. Imagine instant, low-cost transactions that happen in seconds rather than days. Picture having 24/7 access to your financial services without geographical barriers or institutional restrictions that currently limit so many people around the world. Consider the power of immutable records of all activity that ensure complete transparency. No more wondering where your money went or why certain fees were charged. Most importantly, this system offers user-controlled funds with absolutely no reliance on centralized authorities who can freeze accounts, deny services, or change terms without notice. These features align perfectly with the broader DeFi movement's fundamental goal of creating a fairer, more inclusive financial system where wealth-building tools are available to everyone, not just a privileged few who happen to live in developed countries with established banking infrastructure. Here's where the story gets even more interesting. While the spotlight is currently focused on this banking network dApp launch, observers who understand the bigger picture note that this development is part of a much larger wave of innovation sweeping through the decentralized technology space. Platforms like Pi Network have already demonstrated how decentralized technologies can bring financial services to millions of people globally, creating opportunities that simply didn't exist in the traditional financial system. Pi Network's rapidly expanding ecosystem has shown us the power of mobile mining, peer-to-peer transactions, and now we're seeing integration possibilities with external tokens and applications like TEOS. The banking network decentralized app's arrival adds another crucial layer of utility and connectivity that enables Pi Network users to further diversify their digital asset strategies and participate more fully in the broader DeFi revolution that's reshaping global finance. The timing of this convergence is absolutely critical. Experts consistently highlight that early adopters of decentralized banking platforms often stand to gain the most significant benefits. Just as early Bitcoin supporters who recognized the potential in 2009 and 2010 reaped massive rewards from their foresight, and just as early Ethereum adopters who understood smart contract potential before it became mainstream generated life-changing returns, those who engage with pioneering dApps today, especially as holders of foundational tokens like TEOS, could find themselves positioned at the forefront of an entirely new financial order. One blockchain analyst recently observed that the opportunities within Pi Network and across decentralized ecosystems are essentially endless, but timing remains everything. Those who recognize the potential early and position themselves strategically will have the greatest chance of capitalizing on this massive shift away from traditional financial systems toward decentralized alternatives that empower individual participants. The development team behind the banking network dApp has remained strategically tight-lipped about the exact launch date, but multiple sources close to the project indicate that deployment is not just planned, but imminent. Testing phases have reportedly concluded successfully, with all security protocols validated and integration with major blockchain infrastructure providers completely finalized. Once the platform goes live, the dApp will roll out its revolutionary features in carefully planned phases. The initial launch will prioritize core banking services that directly address the most common pain points in traditional banking. Decentralized savings accounts will give users complete control over their funds without relying on bank policies or government regulations. Cross-border payments with minimal fees will enable instant international transfers that currently cost hundreds of dollars and take several days through traditional banking channels. Peer-to-peer lending and borrowing mechanisms will create opportunities for users to earn interest by lending their assets directly to other users, while borrowers can access funds without lengthy approval processes or credit checks that exclude millions of people from traditional financial services. However, we must also acknowledge the risks that make June 28th such a double-edged sword for Pi Network. If the day passes without significant announcements or positive developments, the community disappointment could accelerate the selling pressure that's already evident in recent price action. The security concerns from the Pi Chain global password leak continue to weigh on investor confidence, and any additional technical issues around June 28th could compound these problems. The critical support level at 52 cents becomes even more important in this context. A break below this level, amid community disappointment, could target the 45 to 48 cents range, representing another 15 to 20% decline from current levels. As we approach this potentially historic date for Pi Network, the technical setup suggests we're at a genuine inflection point. The current price of 0.5546 represents both opportunity and risk, sitting precariously between major support and resistance levels that could determine Pi's trajectory for months to come. The 24-hour trading volume of $95.1 million shows there's still significant interest despite recent declines, and the $4.13 billion market capitalization provides a substantial base for potential recovery. Whether Pi Network uses June 28th to reclaim its position as a top-tier cryptocurrency or continues its struggle against market forces, one thing is certain: this date will be remembered as a defining moment in the project's history. Remember, Pi pioneers, we've weathered challenges before, and the strength of this community has always been our greatest asset. The road from Pi's all-time high of $2.98 down to current levels has tested our resolve, but it has also demonstrated the unwavering commitment of true believers in this revolutionary project. Whether June 28th brings the explosive news we're all hoping for, or requires us to continue building patiently, we're in this journey together. Keep holding strong, stay informed, watch those critical support and resistance levels, and let's see what 2 Pi Day has in store for all of us. The next few days could change everything, so make sure you're positioned for whatever comes next. Until next time, keep building that Pi Network dream, and I'll see you in the next update with breaking analysis of whatever unfolds on this historic date.